ase mediane Kwame Minkah mediga gacho kane a Director General Emma Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority sabre eba infrastructure won sama wono no wagye agirem so bekasa wono ne ndom eno magye agirem so bekasa e de ama John Mahama ni NDC won hyehyeye omde egu akwan mu a omde ba begina so ema infrastructure expansion akoso Oman Ghana Owura Richard Anamo ye penny ye ne no e ba bedi nkomo na no pay aja ye mo agye mo akwaba
yeah
Maybe I will go there.
Yeah, fine. Unfortunately, I told you. Yeah, my can language is not the best, so I might have to be speaking English.
Yeah, the best from.
Very good.
Yeah, the best from.
Yeah, good morning, Kwame.
I'm on for Betiasi.
That's right.
Because maybe I do not so be at in
Sure.
Yeah, it's the best from.
No problem.
Now, maybe I will go.
Oh, everything's fine. Maybe you're fine.
Well, yeah, sure. Ghana, I have you now.
In terms of life in Ghana, it's terrible.
How terrible?
Terrible. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. I mean, whether it is water, it is electricity, it is food, it is schooling, you name it. Yes. As for the roads, don't go there because everything is done dangerously bad. You know, I mean, you can't take any good ride to your house, to your city, to your hometown, everything. Whether it's a bridge or even just a rural road, you can pass. I mean, if even in the center of Accra, in Osu area here, the road is bad, then you can imagine the situation in Pusika. You can imagine the situation in Asangrikwa. You can imagine the situation in Winchi.
That's right.
Yes. I mean, it is terribly bad. You know?
And the way I work say, acquiring was some terribly bad. No?
Yes.
I'm trying to reconcile it with His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now I just say, because Omaya acquiring actually baby aba. Including outside for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Reconcile asemi. Nature me baby and no creno. Well, lies the truth.
Well, the truth really is that I think our current president Nana Addo is on the ground. He's not on the ground at all. He is not talking about what is really on the ground. He's talking about what he is sitting in the Flagstaff House, or what they call the Jubilee House, and it comes out in a small ride, under all the escorts, and he doesn't seem to know what is happening on the ground. I mean, the comparison is so drastic. If he steps off, either from his Nima private residence and comes out to Nima, just Nima, I'm not going anywhere.
Nima.
Just Nima. Come out to Nima and walk around it, even a bicycle or walk or even a small car, you begin to realize the reality in the country.
But may share Oman Ghana your public debt.
Yes.
Baby,
yes.
Over 700
it's
billion.
Terrible. I mean, it's more than that.
How do you explain Nientia within the past 7 to 8 years? Yentiminya infrastructure expansion a bit my boy to the sense and then you kasa for bad roads.
It's very, very difficult to believe this. It's very difficult to understand. I mean, the first question at times we ask ourselves whether all of us, whether we all went to the same school, both NDC and NPP in particular. Forget about the others. Whether we all went to the same school, because I mean, if you have so much money, then of course one would have asked, what is the situation on the ground? Where can we, point fingers to say, okay, this money has been spent at this place? Absolutely nil. I mean, for example, today you see the motorway. The motorway that we have started, and we're going to do all of this,
motorway.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Project.
No. GPA, we signed the contract. As at 2016, we had signed everything.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a part of the MPS project, signed, sealed. They didn't need to do anything. No, they came and took it out. And 8 years later, we are now awarding it to a contract at government cost.
So help us understand.
Yes, sure.
So as part of the contract between the government of Ghana and MPS,
yes,
and normally be now what someone gonna say they needed to expand the Tema motorway.
They needed to expand the Tema motorway as part of the MPS project, the port expansion project.
To what extent?
3 lanes in, 3 lanes out.
Okay.
Right from Tetekwashi to Tema, and from Tema, that is the Tema main junction there, the runabout, and from there through the hospital road straight to the new terminal site, Akobiti Trail.
So current
signed,
state,
sealed.
Okay, so the current state now, Yehunu motorway expansion.
Yes.
Was that what you envisaged? So Mobayana.
No, I mean, we were looking at 3 lanes in and 3 lanes out, and that's what is required.
But that's not what they've done.
They're not doing anything now. I mean, they just have somebody there, a contractor there, who is clearing and patching and clearing and patching for all these years. There's nothing happening. You award a contract, you cancel that, you come in and award another contract on the same project. The question is, where is the money coming from? I mean, we understand it's coming from a GIF. GIF hasn't got money. GIF hasn't got money. And then you cannot say
Ghana Infrastructure Fund.
That's right, yeah. And if you say it's coming from GIF, the next question is, so what's the meaning of PPP? So when you say PPP, it means it's public-private partnership.
Yeah.
So who is the private person behind it?
Okay.
That's the question. Who is that private person? How much is he ready to put or has he put in that project? So GIF doesn't come inside at all. Unfortunately, that's what they have signed. And that is where we are saddled with now. Yes. When we were supposed to do this without cost to government, without cost to the taxpayer. And that cost is going to be borne by the investor. In our case, it was MPS.
Yeah.
That was the private part. Yeah,
going to bear the cost.
Exactly. Yeah. As part, because the load was going to be transferred onto the road. Yeah, the port traffic. I mean, if you look at the motorway, really, you see that the road coming from the port, Tema to Accra, is more damaged, because of the loading than the road from Accra to Tema. That's right.
Yeah. But this is a situation now. You're going to inherit this project, more plan on this project, mobile renegotiating, mobile go back to MPS. Now the emotions and my and now mobile before. What are you going to do about this project?
Well, for now, what we are setting, I mean, based on what our flag bearer has told the country, is that we will review that whole project completely. Not just there, all other projects that we have ongoing. We've got to review them, look at what was agreed, what was done, whether what was done was correct, whether it was in line with procedures, because to the best of our knowledge, that contract has not been terminated.
Yeah.
No, it has not been cancelled. It was just stopped. And all the processes that is jumped from one contractor to another, the motorway has gone through two. First it was given to some, Italian or some company. Yeah. And now, what happened? Nobody knows. No. Then it's jumped into this Ghanaian company. Nobody knows what's going on. So these are all processes that we need to find out. Yeah. So we review this, but the fact remains, as committed by JM, that these roads will have to be done.
And what will be the purpose of the review? To ascertain what and to build on what?
The review to see what was the departure from what we did, whether procedures were followed, whether those procedures were accurate and proper. Where they are not, and there is not to the benefit of Ghana, I can tell you, they'll be terminated. They'll be renegotiated. Because you cannot say that you are a private partner when there's no evidence that you have money inside it. Then it's not a private partner. You are just a mere contractor.
Okay.
So that whole philosophy is wrong. So these are all, but until we look into the books, and actually see what's happening.
Question me, baby, say where you are not in part.
Yes.
Say until you look into the books.
Yes.
But why any NTBB say?
Sure.
What's the guarantee? Say Ekobasa was a terminating contract now. Moon terminating on my Ghana and for the payment of judgment debt.
No. I think we'll terminate it, I believe, we'll terminate it in a way that the country will benefit. Because the end result is that if we do not, and that contract is so to go on, who's going to pay for it? You understand? Who is going to pay for it? Because as far as we know, as of now, there's no money from government.
That's right.
GIF hasn't got money to pay for that contract. Okay? And we also know that when they themselves put it on public tender, it was going to cost about $250 million.
Yeah.
Now, they've gone on sourcing, and it's over $300 million. How do you compare the two? And you, the bidder, you should know these are all facts that are known to the public. So if there's any change, that change will be to the benefit of Ghana.
Are you by this suggestion saying, interchange is a hodua, MPP so my crack chair mono? It is not true. They've built so many interchanges comparatively to you.
Kwame, they came and met what we were doing, okay, and they were just continuing. So you can't claim that you have not done anything.
So name them.
For example, the bridge where he went and stood there recently, a flower pot area. All that was already ongoing. All of that. Whatever they're doing on the Kumasi Road, all of that all the things that they are doing on Takrady Road, all of that.
Wow.
All these designs were already there, prepared. In fact, contracts already awarded. You know, I mean, all these things were done. They came in and, I mean, just delayed. Why is it that you see that all of them, including Tama.
That's right.
Tama, where I live, the station in what road and all those things. What has happened?
It's not because of the IMF negotiation.
Hey, I thought they said we shouldn't go to IMF.
What they said, but we eventually went.
Yes, we went, and then we came back. So where have we gone? Why did you stop them? Why did you stop? Where is the money? Because if you said that you were not going to IMF, it means you had the money. So where has that money gone to? What has happened?
In fact, they gave an indication that e-levy was going to be that fund
exactly.
that could help us.
Their whole philosophy, their whole vision was on e-levy.
But almost momo kasa NDC, mo kasa na ama e-levy no man sikano said the way you talk down on the e-levy and how you sort of
we told them point blank that e-levy is not the solution to this country. No. I mean, because people are paying every day already. They themselves, including the Karen flag, their flag bearer Bawumia, said that they should not be taxed. I mean, he said that on radio. So what has happened? Why is it that all this time he's kept quiet? Completely kept quiet. So I think it is an issue of them placing priorities.
Okay.
And just looking at things, they thought that they could use the E-level as a well bank and do all sorts of projects. The question you ask is, forget about the E-level for a meantime. All these other debts, the bond, the money, where has that money gone to? That to us is the first starting point. Where has that money gone to? Because we're talking about billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Let's even take half of that. Where has it gone to? Because we don't see it. We don't see it. We are even talking about Accra here. We don't see it. No. You go to Kumasi, you don't see it.
Eastern region?
You don't see it.
I'm told that
Eastern region, that's their
really
locality.
Good.
Yeah, the same. Just like in Tema. In Tema, where the region, the then road minister, stays, Makwata, you go to community 11, 12 area, it's asphalt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe road minister, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Canadian,
it's asphalt to that area. But so it's not surprising that you go to, Eastern region, some portions of Eastern region, not the whole, some areas are well asphalted. How about the rest of the country?
But is that no value for money? I mean, that's also part of Ghana.
Well, I'm sure.
These areas
I'm sure if we're doing the same thing, I'm sure our flag bearer JM, his whole town and village, right up from Tamale going, would have been first class asphalt. But no, you think about the country first.
But they said they've done inner city roads. I mean, the Tamale interchange, for instance, it's
a disaster.
A Sino-Hydro project.
It's a complete disaster, Kwame. Go and see it. I mean, people don't even use it because the purpose for which it was intended is not serving that purpose. Wow. So you see that all the traffic is I've been to Tamale. Yes, it's all going down. So why that whole the overhead thing was done, it doesn't make sense. That whole volume of material that was put in there has not served any purpose for that Tamale people, not at all. Unfortunately, we're going to bear the cost of doing that.
Sure. I know
that's why we put that all in our manifesto.
Especially Sabreya, IMF I say. But why any say obecha bi lamte interchange and the Pokwasi interchange.
These are all designed. Look, you don't get a one afternoon and carry a design and go and start construction. No. I mean, this first, there will have to be a lot of geotechnical investigation, all the detailed design. These things take time. There's no way that they came and within that short period, all of these would have been done. No. By the time they came, all these designs, we had prepared them and finished.
So what was the point in cutting sword again for the construction of the project? Because when Nana came, they cut sword.
They cut sword everywhere. They cut even Takrady Port, where I was handling myself. Yes. They went there because we had signed the contracts, everything. They went and cut the sword. So to them, cutting sword is an indication that they have started. Wow. And I'm sure even some of the areas that we had gone far, they didn't have the courage to even go and open them. We have built a big terminal at Kung. It's standing there.
Wow.
They couldn't go and finish
Bus terminal.
No. Container terminal.
Container terminal.
Yes.
Oh, boom.
It's standing there at home. Unity Terminal is standing there. FDA, Food and Drugs Authority,
That's
they
right.
built a big mansion at the port, right at the port, which is intended to take care of all the people who are using the port left and right, put them all together, so that any clearing and forwarding agents, they can always use that place to clear their cargo. It's standing there. They have not completely. They were planning to come and cut short the same way. Unfortunately, they couldn't. You know.
Yeah, discussing President John Mahama the infrastructure plans was Sabrea. Ghana for the Donayo migrants from Betuaba, Ediamo, Somoba, Ediano Mobabe. Already established fact, and say, oh my Ghana DDT, I could say IMFA. Sikawa a day, yes, Soka, Yedeka, Yakwa Gramansua. Nobody wants to borrow to Ghana. Edia Namobabe, which fiscal space are you going to operate within? Mubenya Sikadia and Momaya, Budia Simon Susamobabe.
I think I know. I think that's the main issue that people are concerned with.
Yes,
and it's very simple. And we have stated this a number of times. That first and foremost, you can increase your revenue by reducing your expenditure. That's the first point. How are we going to do that? We're going to cut down, and GM has stated that he will not have more than 30 ministers. 60 ministers.
Yes.
He stated that clearly.
Yeah.
So if you look at the margin from 140 down to 60 ministers, the cost reduction is so significant that it can even do a whole lot of some of these basic road maintenance work in the port around the cities.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first point. The second point is to look at all the various jobs that are going on under high escalated increased cost of these jobs. Like I gave the example of the motorway itself.
That's right.
It's 250 to almost 400 million. That is significant. And you can take that to the road, to the water, to the power systems, to the schools, and all of these things that should just cost half is multiplied by 3, 4, 5 times. That's so we look at how to reduce the cost. But most important is that we're going to make the international community have confidence in us.
How?
By telling them that what we promise we'll do, we'll actually do them. That the money that we are going to get from them, we'll put it at the right place.
No.
That's where is it? They have given all money. Where is it? The grants. Where is it? Even COVID funds. Where did it go? Where is it? I mean, look, listen, these foreign companies, these foreign institutions, these our foreign partners, they all have embassies.
No, but you're saying that this is something you're going to showcase to them or
yes, we're going to
tell them.
We're going to tell them first on our record.
So you say you're going to tell them?
Yes, we'll let them know this is our record. And GM has pledged that he is going to do everything to the highest standard, including all his ministers, including all his appointees. What you promise to do not go beyond what is required of you. Do not do things that are illegal. Do not go into unnecessary soul sourcing. Do not do any other thing that is intended to increase or bring any doubts as to your capacity to deliver. That alone is what we call the confidence level. A lot of the things that we did during his administration was because the various investors had confidence in us.
Okay.
But above all, the taxes. The taxes. The taxes. I mean, if you import any good into the country, you're going to pay about the tax list. I think it's about 20 to 25 of them. Everything.
Yeah.
E-level, the COVID levy, and even the way in multiplying and analyzing the tax regime itself.
Yeah.
It's all a disincentive to not even the external person, but even to Ghanaians themselves.
True.
During our period, the port was booming. That's why we're importing, we brought in, a lot of cargo handling equipment. We're able to expand the ports and all those areas at the airport. Today, the taxes are so high. You go to the port, it's basically empty. It's basically empty. Why? Because you bring in goods, you can't clear them. I mean, the cost of you clearing is far more than, 2 times of the cost of you buying the goods from its origin.
Yeah.
So naturally, what do? You stop. This is indirectly reduction in revenue to the country.
That's right.
No, and these are the things that we're going to do to make sure that we bring back businesses into the country, to make sure that the business that's been diverted into Abidjan, the business that have been diverted to Togo, even to Nigeria, all of that is brought back to Ghana. Because after all, I mean, we talk about getting the taxes. Taxes from where? You don't get taxes by the fact that you are increasing the value of the tax.
Yeah.
You get taxes by spreading it. That more goods come in, then the little bit multiplied by those quantities will give you the value that you want. Unfortunately, they do not believe in that. So what they're doing is just increasing taxes. I'm sure, I mean, even electricity, they were going to increase the taxes.
That's right.
If people had not demonstrated.
That's right.
You know, and I'm sure all other things, given the opportunity, the E-level will be increased again. You understand? So these are the avenues by which we're going to use. And we strongly believe, we've done it before. In fact, when we took over in 2008, the economy was that bad. Yes.
Comparatively to today.
Well, it wasn't. This one is worse.
That's right.
Yes. But when we took over from then President Kufuor, the country was bad.
So my point is, sir, experience now will come once and say when you took over, the economy was bad.
And we had to resuscitate
you had to resuscitate
exactly by putting policies that were good. Yes.
Absolutely. But when to be for sir, policies no Emma and to be quite different.
Yes, because here we have gone very deep. And that's why we are saying that. The fact that we have gone this deep should not discourage us. Because otherwise, Rwanda went to war.
They did.
They went to war, destroyed their whole country. And today Rwanda is what? One of the best countries in Africa.
Absolutely.
So Ghanaians should trust JM. That's what we are saying. Okay, they should trust JM. That we should not throw our hands in despair and say that, hey, there's nothing else we can do.
But the investors, those who invest in Ghana, they deal with the government of Ghana.
Yes.
And they look at your track record.
Exactly.
So the track record of
who they are dealing with.
Well, okay. So the track record of the MPP administration is bizarre.
It's terrible.
Can that affect you?
No, because those people know NPP and they know NDC. It is our track record. What we have done in the past is what we'll talk about. What will affect us is what they have left behind as far as cost is concerned. And those are the things that we'll address. But they will not look at their performance and use that as a yardstick to measure us. No. We'll try to let them know. Of course, as I said, the advantage is that all these international investors and business, people, they all have embassies, they all have agents in the country. Yeah. And they are monitoring their records. They know everything in the country. And we started discussing them with them. And some of the companies that have just closed and left the country is because they have given up.
Wow.
They have given up. The various, even including the malls, they are all closing and going away. Some of them have moved to Abidjan. But we are still in Africa. You understand? So if a company should close down in Ghana and they are opening their base in our next door, which is just a drive across, then means there's something wrong with us because we all went through the same COVID. So how come? So what I'm basically saying is that whatever systems that we are going to put in place, we want Ghanaians to trust that JM is going to do, and the international community. A lot of them are already talking to us,
right? And
they're ready, including Ghanaian business people.
Wow!
It's not just external, including Ghanaian business people. We'll see how the thermal oil refinery will come back.
Really?
Yes, will come back.
Will come back in what sense?
Yes, will be reinstated fully and expanded. Instead of, why did they want to break it down and then put up a private company next door? What is the meaning of that? What you do normally is that you build up the government system, and then the volume of traffic, the volume of cargo, the revenue it reaches a certain level that the speed over the private sector can also come in.
That's right.
You understand? You don't kill the government institution completely, and then you start a new system. Because what was the incentive for the private person? If that institution is breaking down, what's the incentive? It means you are directly. I mean, sent to in which country is sent to working? Where? That's the question.
What will we do in that?
No. Which country? Are they in Abidjan? Are they in Togo?
Wow.
Okay. Are they in Burkina Faso? Are they in South Africa? So why all of a sudden this company building up a structure next door to the very place that you have done? But what we forget is that it's a private sector.
Yeah.
And there are certain institutions that you have to be very, very careful. Because if they can, it's a private sector, he can close down.
But some say private sector, engine of growth. Could that not be say, and I'm saying, my ideology, shifted towards the private sector, and in private sector, and so revamp refinery,
There are certain core things that you do not give out to the private sector. There are certain core things that you make sure that once you encourage the private sector to do, you are also armed ready. It's just like the port. The fact that MPS is there does not mean that GPH should fail. Because if for any reason MPS refuses to perform, hey, cargo must pass through the port.
Wow.
Yes. So GPH must always be ready and capable of stepping in and doing what is required of them as a port authority. It's the same way with TOR. It's the same with VRA. It's the same with ECG. So otherwise, then just hand over the Jubilee House to the private sector. I mean, it's as simple as that. Because if you say that because we all went to the same school.
Yeah.
So if you think that your other colleagues who are in TOR cannot work, and then you are bringing the private sector, then why don't you get out? So that we'll put the private sector in a Jubilee House and see the difference.
Okay.
Yes.
You ever saw by MPS or Obide question be about what was I say? Then the buy Sabra Mode 24-hour economy bano, a quan bear soon the bay. Who come there?
And get into our manifesto. Yes.
I feel you for your manifesto.
Very good.
And then you're mobile.
Yes. JM, our flag bearer, who is the incoming president, has stated a number of things. First and foremost, he has made a solemn promise that he will reset and build Ghana. It's a solemn promise he's made.
Reset.
He will reset
and build Ghana.
Yes.
Not upgrade.
No. Because there's nothing to upgrade. All the things that we left, so many abandoned things. How do you upgrade the motorway? To what? How do you upgrade, something that is broken completely beyond? How do you upgrade a road that is so damaged that even the base itself is not there? You understand?
That's right.
How do you go into even the barracks, the police barracks, go to the military barracks, and all of this? How do you upgrade that? So this is not. So that's why we say that he's going to reset the whole system. Look at everything and some of the things that, and I'll be going deeper into that.
Yes.
And he's pledged to the country that he will lead by example. He lead by and demand the highest standard of conduct from all his political appointees.
Is that the reason he's saying, say, within the 120 days, of code of conduct?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Which is because that should be the cardinal point. Whatever you are doing, it should be your main focus. That for every single thing, for every decision that you take, for every word that you make, for every move that you do, remember that pledge. Remember that pledge.
Right.
Because the international community is looking at us. Can we maintain that standard? Can we do what we have promised to do? So that is the main call. Now we come down to the issue of the economy. Our flag bearer has stated that he's going to run the economy 24 hours. 24 hours and non-stop.
I don't know, man, from
Yes.
Almost a yenye machine. Yenye fidye. Na mama yejira na so 24 hours.
Yes. It is the ambition. You got to first and foremost set your ambition and work towards achieving the ambition. Let's go to the port, for example.
Let's go
to the port, both sea and air. Why do we close after 5 o'clock? Yes. Why do we close after 5? Because ships are on the move.
Yeah, they are.
Ships are on the move. As far as the shipping lines are concerned, they are there to run their cargo. But we close and go home. 5 o'clock, go and sleep and attend funerals or what the wake-keep is and all those sort of things. All of these will have to stop. The customs will have to be made to work 24 hours, which means what? Cargo will be moving 24 hours. Number two, why is it that certain companies cannot work 24 hours? the pharmaceutical industries, a number of targeted institutions, all because one, security is a problem.
Yes.
Two, power. I'm always saying that the first priority is to make sure that security is guaranteed along the country. All the major business areas, security is guaranteed. And security is one of the first principles that we can easily. I mean, we not go to buy bikes for people to be sitting down and be chasing traffic, people who are crossing traffic lights. I mean, that is not what is going to bring revenue. Right. You know, those motor riders should go to the business centers and see what are they doing. When are they closing? Why is it that somebody who has got and taken an Uber is afraid that the Uber person says that, hey, when it's past 11 o'clock, I won't go.
That's right.
That he say that, look, beyond a certain distance, I won't go. Security is a problem. So instead of packing these young boys and build them nicely and dress them nicely and give them a brand new motorbike to be running around the city and be catching people who have crossed traffic lights, that's not what's going to bring them. We would deploy them. Them would deploy them into areas that will ensure the security of business.
Wow.
Well, it is the business that will bring more revenue for those motorbikes to be maintained, replaced, and increased. So the 24-hour economy is very, very, very important. It's going to be the main yardstick that will drive us all along. Now, the other thing he's talking about, having said all this, the fundamental thing as far as infrastructure is concerned is land.
Asase.
It's a major problem across the country. Whether you are a private person who just want to go and do some farming, or a private person who wants to just build a house, or a business person who wants to invest, your first priority is land.
That's right.
Over decades, beyond, acquisition of land has been a major problem. And what JM is saying is that when I come back into this place, I'm going to resolve all or majority in the minimum of these land problems. So he set up a presidential commission, to look at the processes that when you want to buy land, the processes that you take. Why should it take you more than 30 days? That you want to buy land. The person, me and you are selling your land, I bought it from you, Kwame. We want to register it. Why should that take us more than 30 days?
Well,
why? Why should the Lands Commission be, when you go to the Lands Commission, there are tons and tons and tons of files that will be part of the 24-hour economy. Those people in the lands will be made to work 24 hours to clear all those backlogs.
Wow.
Yes, to make sure that all these are done.
But our presidential commission,
yes,
and as a presidential
commission, yes.
Omajuman, wouldn't it conflict with that of the Lands Commission?
No, they are doing. It's a presidential commission is special. They have a task, to look at the procedures and come up with recommendations to government. Why somebody who is sitting at Wenchi or Wa has got his land and he has to register it, why should it take him 3 years to get his title? Why does he have to come to Accra to go and bribe somebody? Yes, before he gets his title. Why? What's the problem? Why is it that even if after he has registered the land and done everything, and he goes by and say, okay, now you are Kwame, you've got the land, you now want to give to Kweku half of it. That's what we call sublease or assignment.
That's right.
Why should that take him more than 20 days? Because it's already known. So why should that take that period? All of these are part of the things that is saying that, hey.
But don't we know the answer to the whys at this time?
Of course. And the only thing is that somebody is refusing to work.
So if someone is refusing
because
to work...
you create a situation to enable you do the bribery and corruption. Well, wherever there's a queue and chaos, corruption feeds on that. Because a whole number of them, when you go to the lands, because there are so many powers, you do something, give me something, then you do something so that, yours will be fast-tracked.
That's right.
Fast-tracked from where? Why are the other people? Should they also come and do the same thing? So what we are saying is that, no, all of these will have to be reduced to the barest minimum. Then the Presidential Commission will also look at the issue of the Ga-Dangbe lands matter, especially. Because Accra is the focus. It's the center of government. There's everything. And businesses, everything, all in Accra. Unfortunately, there are several problems in Accra. where lands have been given from one person to another. And worst of all is judgment. The one in Temakot, High Court has given a judgment on one land. The same land is being litigated in the Adabraka High Court. You know, the same issue. And then you have judgments. Probably one side gets his judgment, the other side gets another judgment, and there's a conflict. What we are saying that the Presidential Commission will look into all this.
And it gets worse with the involvement of land guards.
Of course. Then the issue of land guards comes inside and all of that. So these are matters that we have put in the manifesto. That these are things that we have to resolve once and for all.
Right.
To make sure that businesses, when you acquire land to do any business, no matter which part of the country it is, you should be confident, that business will thrive. Then the issue of uncompleted buildings, abandoned structures. You have all of that across the country. From Boku to Asenglikwa, east to west, the same thing.
And I said within the past 7 to 8 years,
it's not a small thing.
Roads, hospitals. Agenda 111.
We have a lot of work to do. Yes. Yeah. And you have uncompleted projects. Uncompleted. We're talking uncompleted state-funded projects.
Yes.
Whether by grant or whatever it is, And all of these money that have pumped into, and I just said it now, Afari, military hospitals, all of these, including even the education institutions. You go to Legon, there are uncompleted facilities that we started. All of these have been abandoned. You go to some of the schools, existing schools, dormitories that were started, uncompleted. And JM is saying that it will be unthinkable, unreasonable for us to just come in and start new projects when these uncompleted projects are all over the country.
So they will not be limited to Momo regime, as in the Moshasia, but you're referring to all uncompleted, whether Kufuor, Mills,
Kwame Minkah, all of them.
Wow.
So what we have done is that we have set up a program called the Ghana Uncompleted Infrastructure Project System. It's already running. And we are trained a number of people across the country, and they're going across and picking pictures of all these uncompleted projects.
So they are tracking.
They're picking them real physical. You go to the site, take a picture of it, snapshot it, download. So you sitting here can have it on your palm. And you see that when you go to Winchi, when you go to Wa, when you go to Tumu, when you go to Takoradi, these are the uncompleted projects. And this is where it is. Sure.
Projects are free Kwame Nkrumah peso. Ebesi sa banya peso. Ayenya jatu ono. Masuma mrante wane maba waso monko abonten. No monfangu eye abefo tente video no so. It wo wo dem crowd betima hwe. No hunu projects do aye ka wasam. Is that the case?
That's correct.
Wow.
That's correct. Because this is money. This is state money. Not only is it waste of money, but it's also occupying land that could have been used, completed and used. Of course, over time, some of these facilities would have probably changed in use. I mean, the designs would have been changed because I still, for example, remember when you are in Takoradi and you are from the hospital towards the fire service, I think they were putting up a studio there, that thing has all been abandoned. Overgrown weeds. And I mean, recently, I think it was shown on television.
That's right.
Another facility. All of these will have to be redesigned, reviewed, upgraded. Either we continue with that project or the land is being reused for something else. But at least we know. So that we upgrade them and see what sort of investment, what was the purpose of it. All of these are very, very important.
And this will be a priority.
That's a priority.
Wow.
Yes, we identify all. We will not leave out even the projects that this government has messed up.
Agenda 111.
Agenda 111. We'll take all of them on board. The question we'll ask ourselves is, Agenda 111, it is sitting at Labadi. Agenda 111 is sitting somewhere else. Is that a priority? Within that place, is there a clinic that has not been completed? Is there a hospital that has not been completed? That will have priority. So we'll not just say that because it's Agenda 111, we take it out. No, we look at Or because this is medical.
Yeah.
So there's certain things, because, and of course, there's no need putting up a facility that you cannot equip.
Mm-hmm.
You can't build up a hospital, therefore the structure to be sitting down
That's
there.
right.
Yes. And you cannot have an existing hospital which is so dilapidated, that even toilet facilities, when it rains, is leaking. There's no proper ventilation and all that. There are no beds, and you get up and you're building a new one.
Typical example, Tema General Hospital.
Well, you know it. Yes. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Kolubu, you go to Kolubu, it's terrible.
It's
terrible. Just because our MP visited that place, I think was it the following day or by midnight, the lifts have started working.
Oh, sir.
Yeah. It was.
Wow.
It was. Yeah. I think somebody read it on the Facebook.
Interesting.
After he left, by the time he got to Parliament House, the lifts were working.
Amazing.
I think they should make him the special minister for health. And you have Kolubu. If you go to Kolubu, if you go to the surgical block, you can see cracks all over down the place. How did these cracks occur? It's likely that leakages are taking place because these buildings were built during those days.
Yeah.
Top standard.
Yeah.
Leakages, basic maintenance, all of these. Some of these will require a lot of investment.
But these things have developed over the years.
Yes.
Well,
that's why we're on track. See, that's why we're on track. All of these were ongoing. If our Ghanaians had given us the opportunity for GM to continue, I believe we would not have been talking about this today.
Oh, wow.
No. These are things that we're already... A lot of these things that we have in our 2024, we had already put them in our earlier manifestos. Yeah, and we are repackaging them and updating them. So it's not something that we are coming out of new. And of course, the situations have changed. Land has become very expensive. Yes. And we felt that it's not good for us to continue to be wasting money on the same properties, littered all over the place. So land, the issue of undertaking the uncompleted lands and all that. Yeah. We'll review the national land policy that has been there since 1999, to make sure that it's more efficient and all of that. We'll also look at customary ownership of land, what we call customary land owners. Meaning, Ghanaian lands do not belong to government. Most of the Ghanaian land belong to the people, the chiefs, the individual homes. But unfortunately, we do not have data.
Oh, sir.
No.
And sir, what Ghana?
No, there's no data on them. So somebody has to go and be physically, when I say data, that means recorded data.
That's right.
That you, Kwame, can say that, okay, you are from Sugakope, then you go down there, this is your family land. You can only walk around, and say that it's starting from here to here to here.
Wow.
When you finish, another person, your senior brother, will come in from maybe a different mother, will come and say that, no, this is your boundary ends here. All that we are saying is that we need to not document all this. All customary, what we call customary land ownership, and have a document that is stating across the country, a national land information database. That wherever you touch, you could have pinned there, it can tell you that this land belongs to A, B, C, and these are the boundaries.
No problem being a barbecue.
Well, it means there's confidence, there's certainty over land. So when you are buying, it's no longer an argument as to who is the owner of this land. That you don't buy land in Tema, Dawenya. There are several, I'm a lawyer. Recently, people have come that they have been in court for the past 10 years.
Wow.
Because of land. They think that they are the owners, another group of the family, the same family, is claiming that the land belongs to them. They are in court. It's all a question of certainty. When these things are sorted out, we won't have any problem.
Wow.
Then we go to the next issue, because land is very, very fundamental. There are a number of state institutions who have got lands but no documents. No documents. Well, it's all part of the growth. As we sit back, you now reflect and ask yourself, we are going to move forward. What do we do? Where are these challenges? Look at the challenges that even when we were in office, what were the obstacles?
Yes.
What prevented us from moving much faster than we did?
Yes.
These were some of the obstacles. And therefore, we need to come up with solutions So that when we come back to power, God's willing, and with your support, we will no longer be thinking about them, we'll be implementing these decisions. Yeah. So what we are saying is that several state institutions, Achimota, all the governments...
Achimota see and wailing forever.
Yeah.
And now,
I'm talking about Achimota School.
Okay, Achimota
School.
Okay.
Boundaries. And the same thing with almost all the educational institutions, even including the barracks, the military, the police.
Okay.
Yes. And a number of their areas have been encroached upon. What we are saying is that we'll make an administrative order.
Will same be said or done with regards to forest reserves?
Everything. Yeah. You will have to go through and document everything and register them and issue title documents to all state property, all state across the country. That has to be done to make sure that every hospital, every school, every institution, government institution, GBC, all of them, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation,
GBC.
Yes, they will have all those facilities available. Make sure that their lands are properly protected. And documented. Yes. Then we go to the issue of water. Water is a major issue. The least rain, and we are in big trouble.
That's true. Big
trouble. Unfortunately, it has been with us all because we have been negligent. So what we are saying that these are matter habits. Sitting back, we go to reflect and look at some of the obstacles, the challenges that we face. And what we are saying is that we will have to build several retention and reservoirs. Detention and reservoirs.
Retention and reservoirs.
Detention.
Yeah,
whenever it rains, we should have a way that as the water flows through the river, you should have channels. And along the line, you put it out and keep it as a reservoir so that you can use it for irrigation. Okay, and others, you just detain them. You do as a detention center to make sure that water is standing there, at all times. So these are things that in fact, the plans have been there.
Make this more practical.
Yes.
The whole of Ghana,
especially Accra.
Okay.
Especially Accra.
Okay.
There are several reservoirs. There are several detention areas that have been constructed. Unfortunately, they have been abandoned.
Where are they?
If we go along the Odo River, Odo, yes, you will see that I can't give you the exact, but you have them. We have them that these have been done. Unfortunately,
they are detention facilities
to detain the water and some areas to act as reservoirs.
Really?
Yeah. All these.
And they were left abandoned over the years.
Yes, so that at least the excess water can be kept there. You understand? The excess water can be kept there. So for reuse, for agricultural purposes, and when the situation comes down, maybe there's a need for you to discharge, you can discharge.
So say you detain agricultural purposes.
No. So it's not. No. What is it that the main river is there? Then you take it off the main river. Yes.
Now
and hold it there.
Okay.
You understand? And hold it there. What you are doing there, you are increasing the capacity of the other river. Okay. While the excess flows down, then you can either decide to spill it off or use it for agric. So that what happens is that you minimize the amount of floods that will take place downstream. Yeah. Otherwise, it's raining. It rains maybe for a day or two or something. Then you have all the water flowing through the same channel. So you have excess spill. And that's where you begin to get the flood. But if you have certain detention areas, as it comes up, then the water will divert to those detention areas. It's like temporary holding points. Then as the rain comes down, then you can decide to release them. Either you release them because maybe it's not for agricultural purposes, or you keep them because you are using them for agricultural purposes. These are some of the things that we intend to do. And of course,
by way of dealing with floods.
And we're not talking just Accra alone. You have the same problem in Kumasi, the same problem in Tamale. The least rain, even though these are all dry areas, but because our drainage system is not the best, these are some of the things that we.
But Kumasi didn't mean I identified this problem to Kojo upon Kroma.
Okay.
The current housing works and housing minister.
Yes.
Mekajian say, Adan almost in rough. ɛwɔ adum
Yes.
ɛne kurom no ɛka ho bi because saa mmea na wɔsɛ nsuo tumi etwi fa
Okay.
bɛyɛ nso yɛsisi adan wɔ hɔ a yɛde ayɛ sotɔɔ
Yes.
ndc plan wɔ saa deɛ ho yɛ deɛ ɛne bi ne nkyɛ bi na sɛ nkura nsuo tumi tɔ na yiri na abɔ awura kyɛ bi court ne wɔn nkɔdɔma all because of galamsey
Galamsey, yeah.
mo plan wɔ ho yɛ deɛ
Well, when it comes to Galamsey, it's a different topic altogether.
bɛyɛ ka flood
Yes, yes.
galamsey a
Yeah,
ɛne
yeah,
flood eba
yeah, that's right.
That's
yeah.
right.
So ours is to make sure that we take the water off the excess, create avenues for the excess water to be stored, as far as flooding is concerned. Yeah. At the same time, create drainage systems. A lot of the drainage system is completely off. Some of the rivers that you are talking about, they need to be dredged. Basic maintenance, even including the odor and all those. A lot of filth has gone inside.
na adan ne nso ɛ
The-
in the case of Kumasi adan a yɛsisi
yeah.
ɛwɔ baabi a wɔsɛ nsuo tene fa
Those are all things that have got to. In fact, that will be part of the planning to see. It will be. It's not proper. It can be painful, but the fact remains that if you unlawful put your building in the waterway, it is in your own interest that you resettle. It's in your own interest because if the water is allowed to run and we clean up the drain, you'll be flooded. You will be flooded.
Yeah.
I hope you understand me. So these are methods that will sit down with you. At times, a lot of it is also discussion. And that's why GM has stated that a lot of things that we'll be doing will be based on discussing with you.
But the other school of thoughts, others also suggest that it will take a political will to be able to deal with those who have erected buildings on waterways. In Bempin, I'm out for you because Omunim say, Musro some lose votes at your fruit. It won't be yet. Me at it will fine.
Yeah. Fortunately, they'll be dealing with the JM, who has made a commitment to the people of this country. What is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. And you will be told, and execution will take place. The first and foremost is, if you knew that what you were doing was wrong, it doesn't matter whether the person who gave it to you was in authority or not. Okay, because you knew very well that what that person was doing was wrong. So you cannot be allowed to enjoy the fruits of your unlawful action.
Okay. So these are lessons built from challenges we've had over the years.
Over the years.
Right.
Over years.
Go ahead.
And that, because unless we address these challenges, unfortunately, we'll never move as a country.
Matthias,
Yes. And of course, I've already spoken about the drainage systems. And above all, we'll also be looking at dams. Dams. Dams, we have several rivers that are coming in. Several rivers that are coming in.
Irrigational dams or what?
They are dams for irrigation.
Okay.
Dams for irrigation. You have the White Volta, the Black Volta. But Ghana is blessed with a lot of rivers. All of them flowing into the Volta Lake. And I'll be coming to the Volta Lake. These are areas that we say, hey, we need to go into the issue of dams, construct dams. And we are talking of dams, not dark house dams that this government has done. We are talking of real dams. These are some of the things that we do. For example, the Palubu, which has been on the drawing board. These people came and spent some money and all that.
$12 million.
Yeah. We will be dealing with the real situation. And we will deal with it practically and make sure that we can revive and reinstate a lot of these areas for our common good. But above all, there are three major things that JM has promised. The Volta, to turn the Volta Basin. The Volta Basin. I want to talk about the Volta, that's the entire Volta Lake from Akosombo heading to the north. It's a whole gold field by itself. The entire Volta Basin is a whole gold field by itself. There's opportunities for water transport and opportunities for fishing and opportunities for agribusiness. What we intend to do is to turn the Volta Basin into Volta Basin Economic Development Enclave. Complete. With all that, and send transport cargo by water right into Ashanti region, closer to Agogo. Put terminals at the various areas around the place.
Yeah.
All of this would be part of the Volta Basin Economic Development Enclave. Then we have the Accra and Afram Plains. This has, for years, we have been talking of Afram Plains agric development schemes. We have put it in our plan that this time we intend to implement them as part of our agri policy. These, I'm talking about the infrastructure aspect of it. Yes. And of course, don't forget our old issue, the Northern Economic Development Enclave, Savannah.
Yes.
We will revisit Savannah in full swing and prove that no guinea fowl went anywhere. And prove that we can have cotton growing in the north.
But did any guinea fowl fly anywhere?
That's why I said no guinea fowl went anywhere.
Right.
No. Okay. And prove that cotton can be produced and will be produced for export. Put everybody back into real action. This will be part of our infrastructure for those areas. When it comes to energy, here I'm not going to talk about energy as energy because that's a different. We want to talk about energy. We need a whole section for that.
You're talking about energy infrastructure.
Yes. I'm talking of the facilities that will improve the delivery of energy.
Right.
When you're going to a thermal oil refinery, the road network there is very bad. The road network there is very bad. Access to the place, there's no parking place or nothing. Then at the same time, you now go to along the roads. A number of fuel tankers, articulated trucks, they have no parking place. We need to have very good terminals constructed along the places. Because it is not, it's actually safety-wise. A tanker driver is not allowed, to go and park at the fueling station. I think you know that.
Yeah.
But that is the only source. That's the only thing available. And an articulated driver is driving. And then the law requires that after a certain number of miles, you should stop and rest. Stop where? There's no parking, there's no place. Now, what we're saying that we will need to, using the private sector as an avenue to be able to provide these terminal facilities. Acquire the lands, get the private sector, get them invest in this, because it will be business for them, and it will the major source of opportunity for the private sector to do business. These are all the things that we're talking about along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. So yembre ninti yentubri kana fe yemra keteke kwan ene keteke as a railway.
Yeah.
And I feel so yemra ya kwan here.
I know that's the interest area. Yeah. I know that's the interest area.
But there are some messages.
Sure.
We say, Kwame, help tell Honorable to help us understand how a 24-hour economy will operate as he explains how MPS came about. Also, the 24-hour economy no be operating within the Tema Port enclave and at the MPS no so by. We just say Kwame Wokachi on so kabrof what Ghana no a tree ni brofum kwani eka monka frafra ni ehwe
o ba se won do fa what to fa fa ai
fa frafram
yes
and the judge and that send no message ebi subusa questions about roads
and the roads and it's whole infrastructure
sure.
So I'm coming down to that. Yes. Now I know road, there's a transportation. It's a critical issue for this country. It's the core. They are the three pillars that GM is going to rely on. Transportation. There's a fiscal infrastructure, which includes transportation, energy, and digital technology. These will be the main drivers for the economy. These are the areas that we are going to focus on. The private sector will take care of the rest. When it comes to fiscal infrastructure, as far as transport is concerned, we have the issue of the rail, and we have the issue of the roads, and we have the issue of the air and maritime. Now, for the rail, because I know you diverted there, GM has stated that we're going to give railways a major priority. A major priority.
And I like the way he put it at Winneba. He said, never in our history.
Yes.
Was it your baby I didn't know Casa. Why did he sound like that?
Yeah, I'm not. Basically, what he was saying is that we need to take a lot of the human traffic, the cargo traffic, off the road.
Okay.
And transport it by rail.
Yeah.
Because the more we pound our roads with heavily laden cement, oil, passengers, all on roads. We take money, build a road, within a short time we break it. To the extent that even our mineral exports I'm talking, I mean, bauxite, manganese is going by road. Okay? I mean, lithium is coming up in the central region, and there's a contemplation to go by road. I mean, we are just trying to fool ourselves.
That's right.
So what we are saying is that the rail is going to be priority. The Western Rail Line, which we started during the rehabilitation, okay, GM went and cut the sword. Unfortunately, if we go now, it's all overgrown with grass. We're going to take it right up to Kumasi and move it further to the north and link up. It's already sounded that he's going to bring the necessary diplomatic relations with the north. I'm talking about Burkina Faso and probably Mali. I myself, I've traveled to Mali and Niger. I've traveled to Niger, I've traveled to Mali, I've traveled to Burkina Faso, trying to woo in traffic to Ghana. Unfortunately, under this regime, because of our policies, all of that has withered away.
Our foreign policies.
Yes. That, I mean, transit cargo that is meant for Burkina Faso, it comes in and you say, no, go and pay all the duties that is there, and then when you cross the border, come back and get a refund. Nobody will do that.
That's true.
Nobody will do that.
Yeah.
I hope you believe that. Yes. So we're going to have the railway, the Western Rail Line, send it to the north, the Eastern rail Line, send it to the north. When I say Eastern, I'm talking of the rail line that will go through the Volta region, okay, and head towards Sheni. Sheni is a large iron ore depot. We intend to tap it as a main driver for the engine, for the rail line.
Wow.
The same thing in the Western. With the Western, it's not just a question of looking at passengers. No, go to look at the minerals. There are several mineral deposits along the line. Of course, manganese is there, bauxite is there, there's zinc, and a whole lot of other things that we think we need to prove up, all along that lane. Then we come to intercity rail and inner city rail.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that technology has moved. Population has increased. We can no longer rely on roads. So there will have to be inner rail system. What in Europe they call the tram. Yes. Which will it will run on the same road, not special road. It's rail on the same road.
Yeah.
Vehicles will also be running.
Wow.
And then it will use electrical power.
Wow.
Fortunately, technology has improved that we're no longer using electrical power by cables. Okay, it's not solar. Okay, so they are rechargeable system. So the train, for example, it leaves Circle and it is heading towards Dodowa or it's heading towards Sawam.
Wow.
Probably it gets some point, the battery, it will just lift up, recharge, stop, and continue.
Wow.
The same way will link up from Circle to Tema, Dawenya to Sogakope, Tema, Accra to Kaswa, and all that, while the rest of the traffic will also continue. So the inner circle traffic system.
Oh,
yeah, because we need to have a way of taking off the human traffic.
That's right.
Yeah, that is not intended to deny trot people.
Yeah.
It's not intended to deny.
But just to give options.
To give options and increase the volumes.
That's right.
Yes, because I mean, there's no way we can do all of that.
Me time now swung. So do the next one in 2 minutes, mommy. Na hit me. And we'll do a part 2 because infrastructure
is big. It's big. Yes.
So that we can continue some other time. So just wrap up in 2 minutes.
Okay, the 2 minutes that I can wrap up is basically the issue of roads. Okay, roads. Now the question has always been, how are we going to fund these roads? Because our road network we want to do is to focus on the major highways, to focus on the major eastern, western, and central corridors.
That's right.
You know, the interregional roads. That's going to be our main focus. And we're going to invite the private sector to invest in these areas. So it's not a question of government money alone. No. I mean, just like we give the example, Terminal 3 Airport is private investment. Okay? Terminal 3 Port is private investment. And we have started some of these private investment initiatives. A lot of the investment that we have put in what we call the big push by JM is intended not to take the taxpayers' money. No. I mean, 10 billion is just the minimum. We need far more than that. Yeah. The rail line from Takoradi to Burkina Faso, that alone will be about $5 billion.
Absolutely.
Yes. So our prayer, GM's prayer, is that they should trust him. They should give him that opportunity to come in and reset the country, to make sure that these regional corridor roads will bring in the private sector to invest in this. Because it is only when we have opened up the roadway, it's only when we have opened up the opportunity with energy and power. It's only when we have opened up the opportunity for digital technology, fiber optics, and the economy can begin to run through the private sector.
Very well. Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate said it was Yabebua and our church and there'll be a part 2 of this conversation. And how maybe a phone lines. I'm a man for questions. And then we can really get to appreciate what John Mohammed's infrastructure plans really are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lawyer Richard Anamo.
Thank you.
Former Director General Emma Ghana Ports and Harbors. And I feel so there was any fun on say about infrastructure home common on Ebua ama manifesto no seminar. A man for Ate and seminar. I say no and wedgma and nobody I don't pay. Or Yami Adoma, then another portion of the manifesto Yabetwaso na yedi ho and come on. I was here the movie see Kwame Minkah Yabesha Yami Adoma. Bye bye.